Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, September 1st, and we are looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and SPY. So quite simply, we got what we expected after the market gapped lower on a monthly, tried to push down. This is like kind of the same thing we did for 3 days in a row. Sellers couldn't get traction, couldn't go trend, and we were talking in the room. I said, look, sellers are firmly in control until something changes on this intraday. And for me, that was going to be if you got acceptance above the open and above today's high. So if that happens, the gap's filling. And that's clearly what happened. There was a lot of energy being built in H and I and J, and finally J went and got going. We have a double distribution day. So on a monthly gap down that finally gets filled, we have lower value all day, yet we have a double distribution day to the upside. Emotional short-term trading is vicious, especially when shorts start covering. Now, this market is still very short, okay? Nothing changed in the bigger picture. All we did was fill today's gap. The weekly is down, the daily is down, the monthly is in a huge 5-month balance right now. So nothing has changed until we take out a daily high. So if we take out today's high tomorrow, then we come firmly into a 3-day balance. But until that happens, the bigger picture, the bears are still in control on these two time frames. As far as triple Qs, they filled their gaps. Again, they're still one time framing down. They went out with a price probe. The only thing the Qs have to lean on is today's high, low, and the price probe. That's it. They didn't have single prints. Russell never saw the opening after the opening today. Open and drive down. Boy, did they try to get to it, but failed. They do end 9 wide, and they did raise their POC. They also have a poor low, but they did not fill their gap. It's still a monthly gap, and it's still just under $1. No, I'm sorry, it's over $1. So they still have a monthly gap of about $1.40. So we'll see if they're able to take out today's high and go take back that monthly gap. But for now, it's still there. Good day today. B, I didn't do anything in A. I said with a gap of that magnitude on a monthly, I need some more MGI. So I didn't do anything. So in B period, I actually took a couple of shorts that worked out. And then on the third short, it started going up. I'm like, it looks like they want to take the opening. I took a 10-lot call play. I took a 10-lot mini play because it looked like we were going to pop above the opening, at least for a while. And it did, and it worked. And it worked out very nicely for me. So I went from short 2 to long 8 when I took it, and then took it all off for about, I don't know what it was, 5 points or so. So that was a very nice long. Was it the right play? At that time it was, but the market was still down with a monthly gap and one-time framing down, but it looked like it had some legs to go. And then after that, I shorted D period. I didn't do anything in C. We took out the I below. I didn't short the lows of C and D. I short the push up in D period. Again, when it was at half back at that time. Then in E period, I'm like, they're not getting much to the downside. Looks like they want to stop. Looks like they want to stop one-time framing. So I took a long in E to stop the one-time framing, and that worked as we popped D's high. And then in H period, I'm like, are they really going to get going? I scalped 3 small shorts for between 1.5 and 2 points. They worked, but I wasn't that comfortable with them because it looked like we were starting to build momentum. When we finally broke up to the upside, I took longs in J twice, saying we're going to fill the gap. Then in K period, we didn't fill the gap. It came back. I'm like, well, we got to go fill it. Took a long, but then K came in pretty good, and I actually took it off for a loss. Only loss of the day. And then lo and behold, we went back up and filled the gap in L. But that's all right. Had a good day. Wasn't going to mess around late in the day because for the most part, what did we do? K, L, and M until M really exploded. We traded between the gap fill and A's high. So right, the mission, I talk about these being heat-seeking missiles. Well, their target was the gap fill. It filled it. After it filled it, didn't know what it wanted to do. And in M period, finally, more shorts just got ripped apart as we went higher. As far as destinations, on the upside, in ES, It'll be 71.25, which is today's high. And then you have 83.59 wide from yesterday. And again, you should have the ones above that. For the downside, we have our price probe. That's L's high of 58.50. Single prints, 38.25. Get filled at 38, 2 ticks. Today's 9 wide at 23.50. And then today's low of 03.50. For the SPY, upside, we have 396.78. Today's high, 397.89, 9 wide from yesterday, and 401.24 daily high. For the downside, we have today's price probe, L's high, 395.53. Then we have single prints, 393.53, filled at 46, so they're very small. Today's 9 wide POC of 392.02, and today's low of 390.04. And then just quickly on the chart, remember we'll recap all 3 of these indices charts tomorrow. So here's the monthly, my friends. We gapped lower, but we filled the gap. It is now a 5-month balance. 431.73 is the high of it. 362.17 is the low of it. So it's a 38 and it's a $70 gap, just under $70. That gap, balance. That's a wide balance, $70. How long is it going to take to come out of it? No idea. But it's a $70 balance for now on the monthly. Weekly, nothing's changed. Firmly down, one-time framing down, gap up here being our main focus. And the daily, as vicious as the short covering rally was, we're still down. One-time framing down 4 days after the outside day down. And we're still below the 50 right now by about $5. So we'll see if we stop the one-time framing down in the daily and come back into balance if both SPY and ES test the 50, test the 4,000 and 400 level, and do we close above or below it? Thanks for the likes and subscribing. Don't forget we have the non-farm payroll tomorrow morning. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.